Guys, Taylor G here. It is Tuesday and I'm at work and I just had to come out into my car for a few to catch a breather after seeing yet another, let's just call it what it is, execution in the middle of the street of an unarmed black man. My heart is racing. I don't really have the words to put to the feeling. I know I won't be on social media today because it's just out of control and it doesn't help the situation. I'm devastated. It's devastating. What do we do? What is there really left to say? What else can you say? What else can you do when the people in authority are abusing it? What do I do with the fact that when I'm driving, I'm scared to get pulled over? Now, I don't live my life in fear. I live my life walking by faith and knowing that God is in control, but this world is kind of scary. And we just have to stay prayed up. I think about my brother, I think about my cousins, I think about my dad, I think about my uncles, I think about my boyfriend. I don't understand how anyone could sit there and deny that this is a problem. Even if this is not your reality, which I am fully aware of, stop denying that there's a problem. There is a serious problem. And until people start recognizing it and stop trying to defend it and stop trying to, after the fact, say, well, you know, he had gone to jail before, or, you know, he did do A, B, and C before. Who cares? Does that mean he deserved to die? This man was having car trouble. His car was stalled. His hands were up. And he's dead. He had a family. He's dead. He had a child that will never see him again. What do we do? You know, I've had conversations with people and they say, well, you've lived a semi-privileged lifestyle, you have this background, you went to private school, you don't have anything to complain about. There is no reason that you should be sitting here crying about racism. Let me tell you something. What my parents do, what high school I went to, what college I went to, where I work, the amount of money I make, the car I drive, has nothing to do with the fact that the color of my skin isn't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And it has nothing to do with the fact that when I walk into a store, I'm looked at differently. And I'm treated differently. And I'm not always talked to. And I'm looked at as if I can't afford what's in there. It doesn't change the fact that when my boyfriend and I were driving in the car at 11 o'clock at night as adults, we get pulled over, and when we ask the gentleman why, and I use gentleman very lightly, he tells us it's because it looks like our tail light is about to go out, and then proceeds to tell us and ask us, I guess, if we had drugs in the car. And then begins to harass me for my ID. and snarl and snicker and laugh and ask my boyfriend about his record and try to go into detail about what we're doing out driving. We're driving. I'm sorry, I didn't know driving was against the law. These experiences happen. It does not matter where you are. It does not matter who you are as a person of color. And you know, I had to stop today because I found myself getting angry. And I couldn't let myself go there. It's not healthy. It doesn't solve anything. Granted, the emotion is real, but I had to find a way to channel it and just start writing. And so that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to continue to do for the day. When these feelings come up, I'm just going to write them down, and I encourage everyone to get an outlet that's not social media. Within the acute state of the heat of the moment, don't let that be your outlet. In the way to where you're going to cause an uprising and allow people to come in and just throw you down and throw you off for your day. It's okay to express. I've done it. I do it sometimes. But if you're feeling as though you're just in a position where you can't control what's happening internally, which I totally understand, stay off of it. Write it down, come back later. Organize your thoughts, come back later. But it just gives people a platform to feel like they can hide behind a computer and say whatever they want. That's hurtful, and this is a time that's far too hurtful and far too vulnerable for our people to put ourselves in a position to just be, for that vulnerability to be taken advantage of. So I encourage you to get a healthy outlet and to protect your space and to protect your mind, protect your heart. Stay prayed up, meditate, do whatever you need to do to allow yourself that space to breathe. And do your best not to go through your day with anger. I know it's hard, but that anger starts to fester and it starts to make us sick. And we are a resilient people, no matter what anybody says. Don't let anybody make you feel as though your emotions aren't valid, as though what you just watched on that computer screen or wherever you watched it was not real and didn't happen for the reason that it happened. Don't let anybody try to convince you of that. Stay prayed up, keep yourself protected, and just know that you're loved and that you matter. So I told you guys I was going to write today, and what was interesting is I opened up my book and I found something that I actually wrote during the last uproar, major uproar that is. Mind you, there's so many other names that we don't even hear. But the last major thing, I guess you can say, not to diminish any others, with Philando Castile and Alton Sterling, I wrote this. And as you guys know, I'm also an artist and a vocalist, and so in times like this I feel like we are called to use that art to bring awareness to and to speak, and that's really what art is for. So I'm gonna read this for you guys. It's not complete, still filling in some blanks, but you'll get the point. Tired. Love, hate, race, problem. Ignore, ignorance. Accountability, arrogant. Privileged, social media, confusion, compassion, understanding, listen. Validation, majority, minority. Anger, frustration, manipulation, reality, unplug. Reach out, system. Why don't you understand? We're tired. Why don't we take care of each other? Why do you not care about the others? We stand, we fight, we scream, we cry. We're stopped, we're pushed, we're shot, we die. Black, brown, white, we're all the same, right? So why does it threaten your life when I try to celebrate mine? Loved for convenience sake. But when my heart outcries, it's too inconvenient, you say. Devalued, disregarded, degraded, and diminished. My variations as a black woman hold no value? Please don't finish. My upbringing doesn't erase the color of my skin. Some people still cringe at the thought of letting me in. It's like, you look completely different from what you sounded on the phone. Oh, you mean because I'm black? Or is your passive-aggressive, slightly frightened tone speaking to something else that you lack? We'll never know. You see me, but you don't see us. I'm your black friend, but what about the rest of us? Your privilege as a human being cannot be your justification for not believing that there is a problem, a systematic problem, so deeply rooted, it makes you say, well, he was fill in the blank, so they shot him. That makes it okay? Microaggressions turned macro oppressions. Now what? What do we do when the people we once trusted tell us that our outcry for justice is just too something to validate? That the skin that God made is too loud and too much, too aggressive and too upfront. He had a dream, you see, that things would be better for you and me. Well, I have a dream, yes, me, that my melanin won't threaten the fabrication of fear that insecurity has set in your mind. Because to admit there is a problem is to admit you have to change. And to change, you have to come to terms with the way in which you were raised. Denying the facts don't make them go away, and acting like you don't see it does not make my skin tone fade. Hey guys, it is, what's today? It's Wednesday. Yesterday was a rough one. It was a really rough day emotionally. It was overwhelming in so many different facets. And it's a little bit of a venting day, and it's crazy because doing these vlogs, and when I started doing this, I knew that like different life events would come up, different things would happen to where if I'm committed to this, I would be sharing what's going on in the present moment, because that's what this is about, and being real and being transparent, being raw with your feelings. But I didn't take into consideration the days that would be as heavy as yesterday were, and I'm glad that I've given myself this space to be able to do this and to be able to share and to document, and I just want to be able to feel what's happening. I think so many times we're so used to, especially because I can only speak from my perspective, as people of color, we're used to just pushing through, pushing on, laugh at the pain, ignore it, it's okay, we'll bounce back, we'll be fine, push through, don't express your emotions, but it's just not the way it is all the time. And I just want to encourage everybody to find that place of like internal joy, that place of joy that nobody can enter into, that place of joy that nobody can come in and take away from you, because it's not determined by your circumstances. It's not determined by all the craziness that's going on in the world. It's not determined or moved by how bad things are, how hard things are, how difficult a situation is. It's determined by your spiritual contentment, the joy that you have internally that God has given you that nobody can take away from you. I still woke up this morning with, a bit of a heavy heart and feeling just a little dragged down. But I had to refocus myself, and I'm still gonna express. I'm still a bit emotional, and I don't think those emotions will really go away. You just kind of find a way to carry on through them. But I do think it's important to get them out and to feel whatever it is. Feel the hurt. It's valid. Know that your feelings mean something, and that they are, again, they're valid. But at the same time, don't turn to anger, don't turn to hate. Like I said yesterday, I had to remove myself from the workplace that I was in because I felt myself starting to go down that path of just frustration, and I knew that after that, my body would be affected. I would feel sick. I would feel just bad internally in my body. It would manifest itself as pain, and I had to take a step back, and I had to find a way to regroup so that didn't settle into my soul, into my spirit. While I still care, and while I still am deeply, deeply, deeply affected by what is going on, I just had to find a way to try to protect myself, and I ended up sharing a little piece of what I wrote, which you guys just saw on Facebook. And at first I just wanted to run and hide. I just really wanted to isolate myself and find my brother, find my dad, find my boyfriend, hug him, hug my mom, hug my sister, like just run and hide and do those things. I know that this is happening for a reason as well, and I know that with artistry you're supposed to share, and you're supposed to find a way to use your voice and your gift for good and for healing. So like I said, I just encourage everybody to find that joy, find that internal space that you can go to, that you can find and touch, that nobody has any control over. It's just you and God. Do what you need to do to protect that peace for yourself so that it doesn't settle in and turn into sickness, into pain, into that nasty, dirty, muddy mess that that will settle in our bodies. Protect your space, protect your peace, protect your joy, and just keep pushing through. Like I said yesterday, we are so resilient as a people, and I have faith that this will not define us. I have faith in God. I have faith that He's in control of everything still, and as hard as it may be, and as difficult as it is in times like this to see, and as much as we just want to yell and scream and say why, I still know, and I will always know, and this will always be my solace, is that God is in control. It may sound simple, it may sound, not complex enough for people, but I can't put my faith in man. I can't put my faith in man. For those who are struggling to figure out what to say or what to do, maybe you're not a person of color and you just don't get it or don't understand. Hey, you can still feel compassion and empathy for people that is in the middle of deep despair and hurt. It wasn't my brother, it wasn't my cousin, it wasn't my dad, but I can still have compassion. Even if these people didn't look like me, I can still have compassion. You know, we're not saying everybody's bad, we're not saying every person in that position of authority has ill intent, but if the good ones will speak out about what's going on, that alone will show solidarity and support for the human race. Forget color. It will show compassion for the human race as a whole. So I just hope that, you know, if that is you, I hope that it pricks your heart and that you're able to see people that are hurting. And if you can't identify with people that are hurting, then you need to reevaluate where you stand as a person. Because there's going to be a time where you're going to be hurting and you're going to need somebody to understand. And you're going to need somebody to come to your aid and advocate for you, who may not be going through the same thing that you're going through, who may not look like you, who may not have any idea what it is that you're feeling, but you're going to need somebody. And that's what this is about. Just show up for people. Have a heart. Show compassion. Show empathy for the hurt. It pains me to know that people of this human race, that there are people that can't find an ounce of compassion in their hearts for a life that was lost. A life. Someone lost their life. Someone lost their father. Someone lost their uncle. Someone lost their brother. At the bare minimum, even if you can't identify with the color of their skin, identify with the feeling of a loss. Just know that you're loved and you're valued again, and how you feel is valid, and we can get through this together if we just continue to uplift each other, if we continue to pray for each other, if we continue to put ourselves in someone else's shoes and see what they might be feeling. If we continue to let go of that selfish desire to be right and look at having a desire to help, I think we can do this. And I think that with faith, you know, it can move a multitude of things and it can change a multitude of hearts. It's hard to have faith during times like this, but it's all we got. It's all I got. And I know it will make a difference.